Okay, today we are going to be doing a 2007 Ford Expedition. Right here. We are going to be doing its brakes and its O2 sensor. So we got a couple things that we're going to need. We're going to need a jack stands, impact wrench is in there, metric set of tools, 1/2 inch, brake pads, brake clean, torque wrench, and a nice comfy chair. We're also going to want some caliper grease, which is right there. It's really hard to see the screen today, so if I'm pointing at the wrong area, forgive me. Also, I like some gloves, which are right there, and we're going to start out with this wheel. So first we're going to jack it up from a safe lift point. See that arrow right there? That's where your jack and jack stand should go. This is on the closer to the driver's side door. And now we're just going to jack the car up. And then we'll put a jack stand under here. Okay, so there's a gap between the tire and the ground. I like making it short because these tires are heavy. If you don't have a jack and all you have is your breaker bar, you want to wait to jack it up until you loosen all these lug nuts. I have an impact wrench, so I don't need to care. First what we're going to do is pop off this plastic cover that no longer says Ford on it with a screwdriver. Pop it off, just like that. And now we can get to our lug nuts. And it is a 21 millimeter. Don't know if you can see that, but this is 21 mil. I'm going to get my 1/2 inch impact, and I can already sense it from the other side of the camera that someone is going to yell at me for using a chrome impact or a chrome socket with an impact, but I don't care. I know you're not supposed to, but I don't have any, and I've already got one on order because I'm going to work on this car more than once. So there's all our lugs. I like to keep one on and put these all in the same location. And now we've got our tire off. So we've got our tire off. We're going to inspect the brakes. And as I look at them, there is not much left on those suckers. Our new brakes. You know what? I'll do a comparison later. First, we're going to take off our caliper. So let me get you in there situated. Okay, so what you get at O'Reilly, if you got an impact, you get your 3/8 9 millimeter for a 3/8 ratchet. If you do not have an impact, you want to get a 3/8 Allen and a little bit of a cheater bar to come up and go up, put some leverage on it. Let's see how much I need to get this out. Step it up to 2. There we go, and we got the glide pin to come right out. Now, I'm going to put the glide pin over here. And I'm going to get the bottom one as well, because it's still not coming out. There's the bottom glide pin. There's not much, what do you call it? Anti-seize on it. Here we go. Let's see if I can squeeze the pistons back in just a little bit on the caliper. Then maybe we can get some I do this with a screwdriver, just get it in between the pad and the rotor, or the pad and the caliper, either way. And then I'm going to take some of our brake hardware off, like that. Don't see it on the back. And then the caliper should just come off. Unless the brake pad is seized to the caliper housing. Which it is. There we go. Now it's moving. Now we have got our caliper. I'm gonna leave that on here just like this. And we're gonna go back and see if I can put one of these guide pins back in. We're gonna compare the two pads. You can compare, make sure they're same. Just enough to be on. And we're going to take our old calipers, take a look. Okay, so here's our two pads. Here's our old one, and here's our new one. The primary difference is the thickness, but also look at how this is a 3 split pad design, this is a 2 split pad design. Now I looked at this, and as you can see there's not much left of this right here. As you can see with this, you can see the lines very definitely and clearly. That is the difference. There was not much left on this pad. You wouldn't have wanted to move any further down than about this. That has, from this little notch right here, which is pretty much absolute don't go past, you got about 10%. So let's get back on the rotor. I'm going to show you what I do. Then we will install our new brake pads. So here's this. It's all dirty. So what I'm going to do is spray brake clean up all in here, all over the rotor. Make sure there's no junk on it. A few important points. Spray some brake clean on. Let me take the caliper back off again. I don't like letting this hang by the hose, so I'm not going to very long. Some things I like to spray. There's these two metal clips. See if I can get right here, the pad area where the pad meets, and then the cups and the stuff in the caliper. On the other side as well. And just get it all nice, good, and sprayed down. Trust me, you will go through a can or two of brake clean. So when you go to the auto store to get your new cans of brake clean, or get your cans of brake clean, I get 2 or 3 cans. So what's next is we're going to have to push the pistons back into calipers. So what you want to do for this is get in your car, open the hood, and open the master cylinder. So let me show you that. So here's our master cylinder, from the driver's side in. And you can see the fluid levels about right here, and max is up here. So I'm just going to take that cap off and leave it loose right there. I'm going to push the piston back in, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I like to do is get my gloves and get the old brake pad. The old brake pad. And put it, let's see what you can see. Put it back in the caliper. Let's see. And then what you can normally do is push these back in. Sometimes by hand. Sometimes what you do is you get your leverage. I'm gonna go get a breaker bar and then come back. So I got a breaker bar. See, what can I do? There we go. I'm gonna put it in here. And we're just gonna try to push the piston down. Also, getting a nice big pair of pliers will also help. Pliers like these, grab on, and you can see them being squeezed back down. You don't want to do this on your new pads because it will destroy your new pads. But on old brake pads, we don't care. It's going a little harder than I thought. Kind of wondering if this one is seized. I'm really hoping not, because I know one of them is, and I see one of them being pushed down. Oh no, they're fine. Just outrageously hard. So, what I'm recommending is on the other side, get your pry bar, whatever you're going to use, jam it in here while it's still on, and just push until you have a lot of wiggle room in there. Okay, so if I can teach you anything important on this video, it's a glide pins. What you want is caliper grease that is non-petrol based. It means it didn't come from oil. What we're gonna do is put some on here. It's a little much, but the excess will get wiped off, or it'll come off eventually. And I always thread these in by hand, just like this. Let's see where you can see. Right here, let's thread these in. I'm going to do the same on the front on the other side. I'm not going to videotape it, but I will videotape the back as well. Putting this in by hand helps it from getting stripped. I have noticed so now that I have already hand threaded that one, I will thread it in with a torque wrench, and then I'll do the bottom one. Not a torque wrench, impact wrench, and then I'll do the bottom one, and then I'll show you the backs. And as per Ford spec, I am going to be tightening this down to 150 foot-pounds apiece. In the star pattern. I go back and check. I always do a double check on lug nuts, because the last thing you want to have happen is your car going down the road, your last lug nut falling off, and your wheel going ahead of you as you fall on the freeway and crash and burn. These have all been torqued to spec, and we're going to do the right side now. I will not show that in the video, but I will do the rear brakes. Torque number 2. Okay, all torqued down to 150. So let's get the rear wheel underway here. I'm getting pretty fast at this. That, and I've already done multiple brakes before, so that's right. Wrong way. Go. And here we have our rear axle brakes. These do not seem nearly as hard as they don't have as much brake hardware. See right here? It's a little simpler. Well, let's look on this side. Wow, that caliper looks really pushed out. So what we're gonna do, as I learned from the last one, that having double caliper pistons is a pain. Luckily this is a single caliper, but I'm still gonna do this anyway. You grab it from here with your pry bar and you pry it in. See how nice and easy that went in? Well, you guys aren't here, but if you were here, you'd probably see how easy it went in. I'm doing this almost effortlessly. The only thing is, it damages the pads that you have on here. So only do this on your used pads. That looks good. So we're going to take the back cap off. Hopefully they're 9mm, but they may have changed them from the front to the rear. Let's see. Check it right here. Yes, they did. I'm gonna check out what this is. Most likely it's gonna be 6. It feels like a 6, and we'll come back. So Ford had to be special and make theirs 9 and 7, which are the two most uncommon sizes of wrenches out there. So I am going to be using a T45. It fits in there just as well, and if it damages anything, it will only damage my tool. It will not damage the inside because this is thinner than the wall of the gliding pin. I'm gonna have to use a ratchet. See, right tool for the right job, right? There we go. This spring is in the way, so I can't get my impact wrench in there. Then I'm going to do the bottom one, which I also cannot get an impact wrench in here due to the brake line. So I guess we're going to be doing this one all by hand. Okay, so if these glide pins don't seem to be coming out, it's okay. What you got to do is while they're on here, you got to grab your screwdriver, put it in the threads, and back it up off, because it seemed to get stuck in here and I couldn't get it off, and it goes in a specific way. You got to put it under and on, so you got to take it off like this. So you got to get in here under your rear, under your bottom glide pin, pull it, push on it to get in the threads. Ooh, look at that uneven pad wear. That's going to be something to be reported. That's probably glide pins. That's because these weren't moving well. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put some caliper grease not just on the glide pin. Wow, these things are bone dry. I'm going to put them not only on the glide pins, but I'm going to shove some down. Let's see if I can get this pad out to help you see. Because uneven pad wear is caused by the glide pins not moving. Look at that. Oh wait, that might have been me. Told you it would damage the original pads when you used them to push in the caliper. Damage the pads. So what I'm going to do is in these holes right here, I'm going to stick the brush up in there and smother it all in caliper grease. Same with this one as well. That's pretty much bone dry. It should have come out with at least something. It doesn't feel like it. So I'll smother it all up, brake clean this all, and then show you putting on the new pads. So we're just going to spray this whole thing down. Right here especially, because this is where the pad rubs. And I noticed there was some gunk buildup. You want to make sure there's no gunk. This should be nice and machine flat. See, I'm rubbing it with my hands and it's... See those two rust areas right there? Those are where the pads normally rest. I'm going to do it right here as well. I'm going to lay the caliper there. As long as it isn't hanging on the brake line, you're okay wherever you put your caliper. And spray anywhere you touched. Okay, so I think that's good for this one. As you can see, my hands are nice and dirty. I never touch new brake pads with old gloves. I take these off, chuck them in the can. It doesn't matter how many you go through, you can ruin a set of pads in 10 seconds. Especially with my new EBC brakes, I don't want to touch anything. I'll give you the part numbers to those in just a moment. Okay, so these came with add-on shims, so I put them on because why not? So we're gonna put, I've got my nice new clean gloves, see how it's all blue? Got a caliper right here. I'm gonna put actually wonder if this is the one to this side. Let's see. Yeah. So we're going to be putting this in. There we go. That's in. You just got to kind of push it in a little hard, I guess. And then, see how I already got this glove dirty? Take it off. Grab your new glove. Put it on. You don't have to wear gloves with this, but when you have to go back and wash your hands every 10 seconds, it gets a little annoying. So here, I got the other side of the brake pad. In the box, here's the add-on shim, like this. And we're gonna put this on, just like this. It goes right on just like that. And then, unlike the front one where I put the with this on first, just like this, I'm actually gonna put it on here. Oh, I guess you push them down from the bottom, and they go on just like that. Now we're going to put them back on here, but you gotta put them under that lip first. Here we go. Put back on. Let's get our glide pins. And we'll clean them off when we put them back on. The only reason I'm doing this is because I have run out of film. So I'm going to goop them up, put them back on, make sure they glide back and forth, and then I will show you putting the wheels back on, torquing them down. Okay, so we're going to torque this wheel, and that'll pretty much be your brake job. Okay, so we're gonna check it. There's that. Already did that one. There we go, and that wheel's done. I'm gonna do the other one off camera, and that'll be a brake job. Awesome. Hey partner, you almost missed the most important step. Hold your horses. Doesn't everyone want brakes when they first start their car? I know I do, and especially since this is a customer's car, I want to make sure we do the right thing, something called setting the pads. Now what that includes is your foot on the brake pedal, push it in until the pedal feels firm. Once it feels firm, most of the time, your brakes will be set. You push it a couple times, and they should be set. If you don't do that the first time you go to brake, you're going to keep going. Your brakes will not work. So push it before you start the car, and then when you start the car, I'd push it again a good couple times, which I'm doing right now. Okay, I replaced these with Ultimax EBC brakes because I really like EBC. We'll see how that works, and I'll get back to you with part numbers, torque specs, and everything will be in the description. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, maybe subscribe. It's pretty hard to do these videos by one person. I'm going to see if I can get a cameraman to get better shots. Hopefully I will. If not, well, I'll try my best to keep improving.